Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 here in Memphis. And as we close in on show number 500 in our 19 years on the air, and it's really kind of unusual. This first guest that we have on the show this morning was probably when this show started in August 2001. August 2001, we started this show, and now it was the next July, 18 years ago, in July of 2002, I was there when Jay Yelas won that Bassmaster Classic, and we're always happy to have Jay on with us. Good morning, Jay. I know it's early in Salem, Oregon, but thank you for being with us, buddy.
Well, good morning, Larry. Yeah, thanks for having me on your show, and good to hear your voice. Yeah, it's early out here, but I'm up and at 'em, ready to go.
You're always ready to go, man. That was the blast-off time for a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget riding that ride out in the dark, to be on the observer boat. At least you knew where you were fishing back in those days. Back in the old days, they didn't know where they were going, but Jay, in 2015, became the executive director of what many of us consider one of the top organizations that there is. It's called Cast for Kids, and we wanted to talk to Jay because, Jay, there's more people and more kids have been, I think, introduced during this bad times into good times fishing-wise. So we've turned something around here, but thanks for being with us. And let's talk a little bit about the Cast for Kids. Tell our listeners out there exactly what goes on with it.
Well, you bet, Larry. Cast for Kids it's a nonprofit that serves special needs youth and urban youth and American warriors with fishing trips. And our main program is the Cast for Kids program. It's for children with special needs, and we give them a great day of fishing, an opportunity to enjoy a day on the water, boating or shore fishing, and then that's, it's done in partnership with volunteers in local communities all across America. Folks will come out and volunteer for a Saturday morning and take a child and their parent out fishing for about 3 hours, and then they come in from fishing. We have a barbecue lunch for the kids and their families, and then we have an award ceremony where each of these special children is honored and to make them feel loved and valued by their community, and they get cheered for and they get an award plaque, and it's just a really fun time, and it's a great way to share the joy of fishing with folks that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity.
And what I really like, and Ron and John will realize this, what CAST stands for, Catch a Special Thrill. I did not have a clue what it meant. And Ron Wong's already in depression because there is no ICAST coming up, but we do have Cast for Kids, Ron. This cast without the I. Okay, so
yes, but I have to tell you something. It's all the wonderful volunteers throughout the nation that helps this wonderful organization. And, my hat's off to all of those volunteers that help. Because, a lot of times people don't understand what it really means for these kids, especially with special needs. We're not able to do that because it gives them a chance for hope. It gives them hope for life. And that's what's so important.
I think Jay will agree with that because I remember, Jay, your personality was always there, and I know you probably never turn down an autograph or anything like that. I can remember people flocking around you and things along that line, and you went on the board of directors for this group. So in 2010, right. So talk about becoming the executive director. That had to be a commitment for you. Now you got a family and everything.
You're right. I was asked to be on the board of directors for the Cast for Kids Foundation in 2005. And the charity's been around since the early 90s.
Yes.
Long time. So I was on the board for a long time, and then the gentleman that founded the organization, he retired, and so I switched from a board member to a more active role in the day-to-day operations, and we've grown it a bunch. I know a lot of folks around the country that love fishing and love kids, and we've been able to get a bunch of new events started in the last 3 or 4 years, and we have a couple of events in Tennessee over by Lake Chickamauga.
Yes, you do.
Fort Loudon, East Tennessee, but we don't have one in Memphis. So if any of your listeners would love to get an event going around the Memphis area, reach out to us.
Yeah, we need to do that because within this radius, and Ron and John Gordon both know. John lives in Hernando, Mississippi. Of course, Ron lives on a lake in southwest Tennessee, down close to south of Memphis here, and it's such a broad area. Again, we're talking to Jay Yelas. He is the executive director for Cast for Kids Foundation, which offers Cast for Kids, also fishing for the urban youth, take a warrior fishing, these type of things. Jay, I know. Do you still have the competitive edge? I mean, do you miss what you did?
I'm still fishing on the Bass Elite Series, but my competitive edge is not quite what it used to be when I was 30 years old. But I still love the competition.
You still love it, don't you?
Yeah. I still love it. Yeah, and I'll have a few good tournaments each year. Overall, though, I don't do as well as I used to, but that kind of part of it as you get into your mid-50s. You're competing against these 25 to 30-year-old kids.
You're just a pup.
Tough.
You're just a pup, Jay. I know that for a
fact.
I
hope so. I'd like to do it a while longer. It's fun.
Well, I wanted to ask you that, and Ron will ask you the same thing. You've been there and seen all the great the changes in the sport itself. Talk about the evolution of pro bass fishing from when you started to what it is today. What do you see as jumps off the I would say the screen, because that's probably electronics is one of the things. But
that's changed it a bunch.
Yeah,
bass fishing has changed a good bit. I started in the late 80s.
Yep.
And fished my first Bassmaster tournament in 1989. So, things have changed a bunch. Back then, the electronics weren't anything what they are now. We used flashers when I started fishing.
There you go.
So,
now he's aged himself. Now you've aged
myself. That's right. We do a lot of shallow water fishing and not so much out deep, and so that's changed a lot because now everybody can, with all the mapping in our, like I run Garmin units.
Yes.
And they have phenomenal lake mapping, and then we have, the sonar and the side imaging, down imaging, and all this. And just you can find all those fish that are offshore. So that's changed a lot. The quality of our fisheries has stayed good. That's what's really encouraging is our fisheries, they fluctuate up and down, but overall, over the last 30 years, our bass fishing in this country has actually gotten a little better than it was back 30 years ago as a whole, nationwide. And a lot of that, is due to catch and release. So it's great to see bass fishermen letting them go, and that keeps the quality of our fishing high. But the average angler is just also way more knowledgeable and a better angler than the average weekend fisherman was 30 years ago. They have a lot of, with the advent of the internet, the average angler is way more educated, and so the fish, as a result, get more pressure, more educated pressure on them, and they get caught more often. So you're dealing with fish that have been caught a few more times than you used to 20, 30 years ago. There were fish in lakes that had never been caught, but now they've all been caught. So you're having to, there's more of a trend towards finesse techniques. When you're having to refool the same fish for the third or fourth time this year,
it gets tough.
Hard to catch them on a buzzbait, more than once.
And and we looked this, and Ron and I've talked about this many times. These young anglers are coming out of college now, Jay, and it's almost like they just step right in it and don't miss a beat.
They start young with high school angling.
Yes.
And, the Bassmaster High School Series and the College Series, and they're really, really good right out of college. So yes, that's a factor too. That's different from what it used to be, where people are getting really, really highly skilled at their bass fishing at a much younger age than they used to, and so the competition's younger, and
it's
and
not
those,
just the equipment. Yeah, it's not just the
yeah,
equipment.
and all the equipment. So the boats and motors have come such a long ways, and all the rods, reels, and everything. Fishing lines have vastly improved.
You don't have to tell Ron Wong; he's got them all over his house.
Good.
I have just a thought, and maybe you guys have already thought about this and are working on it, Jay. But, with all these colleges now that have these teams, that means that there's lots of boats around each one of these colleges. But what about trying to get these colleges, as their community service effort, to host a Cast for Kids event in their area?
That's a great idea, Ron. And actually, we have a few, like the University of Tennessee. They come out to our event that we have at Fort Loudon, which is right there in Knoxville.
Yeah, I think
they support.
That's Bryan College that helps out there.
Bryan College.
They've helped.
Yep.
Yeah, Bryan College helps out. They've helped. We've had our events in Alabama at Smith Lake, and some of those have had the local colleges, even small colleges, junior colleges and small Division III schools. Those smaller colleges, they have fishing teams, and they come out to help at events. So it is a great way for them to give back, and they love it too. They love it's just so much fun when you can help a child catch their first fish of their life. I mean, that never gets old.
That never gets old. Well, now tell our listeners then how they can get information about the Cast for Kids Foundation here as we close out. Jay, where can they go for information?
Yeah, well, online you can go to castforkids.org.
Okay.
castforkids.org, and you got all our contact info is on there. My email address is jay@castforkids.org. It's jay@castforkids.org. You can email me and
Facebook.
I'll get you hooked.
Facebook.
Yeah, we'll get it going.
Facebook too. I know that. You can go to Facebook.
A big Facebook page, Cast for Kids. Just search that on Facebook.
It's kids.
And then
great.
we also have an Instagram page.
Well, we appreciate you getting up early on Saturday morning, Jay Yelas, for being with us. We'll stay in touch. Keep those competitive juices going, buddy. I mean, you're just a pup.
Guys.
You're just a pup, man. Remember that, okay?
Good. I appreciate it. Thanks
all right, buddy.
for the encouragement. You guys have a great morning. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Jay Yelas. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray and see if we can track down the legendary Steve McAdams somewhere on Kentucky Lake. You still there, John, or have you gone back to bed? Okay?
I'm still there, Larry.
Good. All right. That's John Gordon.
Jay. John's always there.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back.